So this is a pretty crazy film. How did it come to you, and why did you go for it?
Charlize Theron actually sent it to me. Charlize and Beth Kono, her producing partner, and I really resonated with the idea because I've been wanting to do comedy, and it's kind of my first love. And playing a character in a film that's kind of dark comedy like this, which I love, and a character that's, you know, a former mercenary now trying to be a sort of humanitarian, I thought has an innate kind of humorous internal conflict for the guy. And so I sort of jumped at the chance to play that. I thought it'd be fun.
I got a phone call from Carmen Cuba. I called my agent and said to look at these two characters. I originally wanted to play the Panther.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And Nash said, "Would you consider Angel?" You know what I mean? And I was like, and I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this is cool. You know, because I have somebody. There's so I have a Mexican actor. You know, and I was like, okay. And it was a cool part. I mean, I liked it. It was in a way it's a more complex part than the Panther, but just Panther seemed like so much damn fun. You know, and it was a much quicker. I was in and out with the Panther.
Yes.
You know, I had to hang around Mexico City for a while with Angel, but I really love playing Angel, and in the end, I was happy that it went that way.
So how much is this film like a morality tale for you? Because it's billed as an action comedy, but it's also got a sort of moral
the fun thing,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about the film is that it's the kind of film that I like a lot because it's got an enormous amount of humor. So it's very funny and sort of in the dark comedy realm. I love that kind of humor. But then it does have some social commentary and real sort of heart and humanity underneath it. But it's definitely not, its primary purpose, I feel like, is just to go and have a good time at the movies and have a good laugh, and you can take what you want from it from the morality tale side of things. You know, I don't think it tries to hit you over the head in any way with the morality of it. All the characters, even Harold's, character is tempted and so in a certain way, there's an honesty there. Yeah, exactly.
But I think take the ride because it's fun. It's a heck of a ride.
Yeah. Nash, the director, is a sort of former stuntman. How much did that influence his sort of directing style?
I think tremendously in a film like this. I mean, I think he's at the top of the game in that world, and we had the best of all that, and it's an action movie, you know, and that requires a certain hand, you know, and Nash was the guy, you know, and I think also he gave us a tremendous amount of freedom to play with stuff, you know, to let us find things. So I think that was actually huge that it was in his hands. Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing was being able to kind of just go with the character, which is what Nash was very interested. You know, he knew what he wanted to do with the set pieces, obviously, and the action and all of that. But he was very open to letting us improv and try different ideas, even in the physical space. You know, little moments like there's a scene in the film where I knock Harold off a wall. You know, which was originally going to be a much more complex action way to do it. And then we sort of decided, well, actually, it'd probably be funnier if I just, whack him with the bag. So he would stay open even to some of the physical comedy. He wasn't trying to make it a stunt movie. He very much let it be a character movie that was funny and allowed us to make it, I think, a lot funnier. We were saying earlier than it originally read. The finished movie to me is there's a lot more comedy in it.
Yeah, than when you read it. Yeah, I agree.
Because the film itself, it has this sort of unwavering comic pitch. Like it's really just constant. Was that the same on set? Was it different to other films you've done?
I think the tone, for me, it was always going to be dark comedy. You knew you were doing that, so you weren't doing drama, but you also weren't doing sort of over the top cheesy comedy. So it was you err on the side of playing the situation straight up because the situation's ridiculous. The characters are not trying to make you laugh. They're trying to handle crazy situations.
Right.
Which, that's my favorite type of comedy. Personally.
Perfect situation comedy. Yeah.
So Nash's brother Joel is in the film. What was his relationship like with him as opposed to the other actors? Was it sort of interesting watching that?
They were quite amazing to watch. Yeah. I mean, as I was prepping, because some of the stuff with Joel, we would work together to kind of write, and it was incredibly collaborative. Joel and Nash's relationship, you know, they didn't seem to have any like rivalry or ego or anything. They were amazingly supportive and collaborative with each other, and sort of having each other's backs, which was quite a cool thing to see.
Yep.
You talked earlier about offensiveness in comedy. Do you think this film will offend people in the right ways?
I hope so.
Yeah, because that's a real reaction, I suppose. Yeah.
Offend you in the right way.
In the right way
is the good action. You know, I think.
Isn't everything offensive to
somebody?
Today,
everything's offensive to someone.
Even saying hello now.
Yeah,
can
be careful
offensive.
how you say it. I think hopefully, to me, the film is a great release at the moment. You know, in society. To me, this is the kind of film I just want to see, because it's not trying to do anything political or anything, you know, crazy. Yeah. It's a good laugh. It's a good time.
It's a good time laugh.
Yeah.
Right, it's right, man. Take the ride.
What was your favourite scene to shoot?
My favorite scene to shoot, probably the. No, you know what? Like the first scene, the airport scene. Yeah, the airport scene was fantastic. Yeah, because some of the scenes were really hard to shoot. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a tough movie.
It's a tough movie.
It was
to
a
make,
tough
man.
movie. We had tough hours. We were doing a lot of nights. My favorite was definitely, I think it's even in the trailer. There's a scene with me and David is on his knees and is kind of going through a really personal, difficult situation. And we were really up against it at that time. The sun was coming up. It was sort of like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we were struggling, you know, with some of the issues of the scene story-wise and on the page. And David and I just went into like a real improv space. And suddenly David went on his knees in the one thing, and and we really changed the shape of, you know, of the scene and found something really magical in that moment. And there's nothing more fulfilling than that you've been struggling with something, and then suddenly this incredible moment of inspiration hits you, and you both just run with it. And so that was you know one of the real highlights for me.